Well, you saw him in conversation there with the National Police Commissioner. He's in studio with us. That's SABC News reporter Dludla, who's been attending that particular briefing and joins us live now. Calvin, of course, we're hearing about plans when it comes to the festive season and how police are saying that they're going to ensure that everything, is well. South Africans are well protected and they do have police visibility. But there have been mass shootings, and this, as many South Africans are concerned about what is taking place there. Did they say anything about this?
Oh yes, good evening, Bongwe, to you and to our SAPC viewers at home. Yes, he did indicate that the police are aware of the mass shootings that are taking place in South Africa, different provinces. He said that they have mentioned, they know which provinces are hostile. That would be KwaZulu-Natal, Eastern Cape and Western Cape, especially the Western Cape province, because it also involves gang-related violence. He says there are men and women in blue who are also taking care of that. They are beefing up their security. They are beefing up other police officials in terms of making sure that they kept that. He says they are pleased that they have made arrests in most mass shootings. You would remember that they have made the arrest on the Lusikisiki mass shootings. Unfortunately, they could not make an arrest in the Orange Farm one because the perpetrator shot and killed himself. So they could not make an arrest. But he says he's very happy by the way the police officials respond in such shootings.
When it comes then to, of course, the cases of extortion, we see there's now a national hotline that's been launched. How is that going to work? Oh,
yes. When we had this one-on-one interview with him after the briefing, he did indicate that they think this will work. But he had cautioned members of the community not to use it just to play, because sometimes they complain that they get calls from the 10111, and when they attend that, only to find out that there's nothing. So he says if you dare call and they find out that there was nothing that you were reporting, then you will be liable. And the number is 0800 911 011. So it's easy. He says he knows that there are those who are scared of going to the nearest police stations to report such crimes, but he thinks that when they call, they will get assisted.
When it comes to numbers, let's talk about what he says and which numbers he is citing for their crime-fighting efforts, because he did say that they believe that they are turning the tide and they are fighting crime. But what numbers does he use to back this up? He
did say that it is pleasing to note that they had 635 life sentences that were handed down to 431 accused criminals. 103 accused criminals were sentenced to 112 life sentences for murder. 310 accused criminals were sentenced to 421 life sentences for rape. 5 accused criminals were sentenced to 5 life sentences for house robberies. So you could tell that when they arrest, because you know the problem with the police, people are complaining about that they are incompetent. They can attend the case, and when they gather evidence, that is where the problem starts, because when they go to court, there are loopholes, only to find out that the forensic investigations were not done properly. So in most parts, they complain that they don't win cases because of the incompetences from the police. We also spoke about the relationship between the South African Police Service members and the community. You would remember when I went to Orlando East, when that incident took place, people complained that they don't want to see police officials involved in criminal activities. They even said they want to hunt the perpetrator, the alleged perpetrator, the one who raped and killed the 6-year-old, because they don't believe that police officials are doing a good job. But today, when I asked him about that on that live crossing, he says they will make sure that the police officials and the community, they work hand in hand and around the clock to fight crime.
Before I let you go, there's also, of course, a call for those who were in the force before to now, who left in good standing, to consider coming back. It's not a new call, but certainly they're hoping that it's going to boost the numbers of police officers that they have.
Yeah, that is what he said, Bongiwe. He says they are making everything to fight crime. He says they have built 4 police stations since January. He says they have 2,800 newly trained officers that have been deployed, but those are new. So he says they have spoken to those who were in the force before, your detective, experienced detectives and other police officials to come back to the force so that they can reinforce.
And this is experience they need. Calvin, thank you so much for wrapping that for us. That's SABC News reporter Calvin Dludla.